Hello, everybody. Can everybody hear me? Just do a quick audio and video check. You can obviously see me. Great. So my name is Matthew Holdren. I'm happy to be with you here today to talk about Bow Valley College Center for Entertainment Arts. It's an amazing school, amazing campus, filled with amazing people, industry instructors, all the best. And now it's done so much in the last 2 years since opening that it's great to be able to be here to talk to you all about it. If anybody has any questions, we got a Q&A. Feel free to drop them in there. Feel free to chat during this presentation. And if you have specific questions for any of the guests you see, just drop them and I'll try to check as we go through each visitor and we can try to answer the questions live. Okay? So Bow Valley College Center for Entertainment Arts is an academic partner of Center for Entertainment Arts. We like to say we encourage the artists to elevate the professional and empower the industry. And our prime directive is very simple. Happy students, active, learning skills, gaining confidence, figuring out software, technology, everything they need to be successful in the industry. And it's where industry converges with academia. And we have a lot of industry support through our instructors, through our advisory panel, through our CA program directors. Industry is everything to us. And our mission is to empower the industry by helping create and craft these amazing professionals. And the industry is huge in Canada, all over the world, obviously. Canada has a huge visual effects, animation, gaming industry. We've experienced a little bump this year, but we're going to start to come back from that right away. Our alumni of the programs through our academic partnerships are doing big things, working at amazing studios, as you can see. And now they're starting to amass amazing credits on huge productions, movies, television, games, working at studios, working on productions for streaming services, television, and some really nice movies too. We're seeing amazing credits there. We like to teach the importance of professionalism. That's one of the bedrocks of everything we do. We want you to learn the soft skills, how to collaborate, how to interact with team members, how to understand whatever your specialization is, how your work affects people upstream and downstream from you, and how to be an amazing part of a team so people can rely on you, count on you, and they look to you to help solve problems and keep you employed most of all. So our first guest today, amazing guy who recently went to Calgary, actually, to visit the campus, visit with the students, do a presentation about his latest project that he finished. Jan Philip Kramer. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hey, good morning. Good. How are you? Good to see
Great.
you. Nice to meet
Yeah. I won't go through your whole biography. If anybody's interested, look up Phil. He's all over the internet. He works at Digital Domain as a visual effects supervisor. He has a long history in animation, and that led to visual effects supervision. And now he focuses on kind of the whole package, and he's part of the creative team at Digital Domain that works on their biggest projects. And speaking of huge projects, here you can see he's worked on some amazing ones. He's also part of the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences and the Visual Effects Society. He's been nominated for countless awards, probably won some too. So how you doing, Phil?
you. Great. Yeah. Again, thank you for having me. It's wonderful to meet you again.
Yeah, you've been gracious enough to visit with our students multiple times.
Hmm.
You were nice enough to visit on this last info session we have, and through those conversations, we kind of came up with the idea that you go to Calgary, visit the campus, interact with the students, see what was going on for yourself. What was your impression of your trip to Calgary?
I have to say it was really wonderful. For me, it's always very inspiring myself meeting all the students. And we had a really good time. I got to go and see the Center of Entertainment Arts out in Calgary, and it was really wonderful seeing the facilities, how up to snuff they are. It's unreal how good it looks. And so I got to go through the different classes, meet some of the teachers, meet Jeff, and was a really positive experience, I think. And then at the end, we did a longer talk where all the students had questions. And anyway, it was uplifting for me, and I hope for them as well.
Amazing. If anybody has questions for Phil, you can drop them in the question box. We'll try to answer them live, especially about visual effects or animation. He is very versed in both, and he can probably answer them for you. Speaking of the campus culture, how was the energy of the students that you saw there?
Oh, it was so good. But I mean, to be honest, in a space like that, I wanted to do some creative stuff. I mean, it's so nicely put together, and you see like how students thrive there. So I don't know, I really enjoyed it, and I thought they were all super switched on, and you see how much they're learning and how they're getting ready, I think, to join the industry. So this really was a positive trip, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, you talk about the space. It is incredible when you go into the main campus, which is a nice facility itself. All these services and support that students can get at a huge institution like that, and then you kind of step into this whole other world in the BVCCEA campus, which is it's basically feels like a high-end studio by design, and it really the classrooms are amazing. The technology is there. And then it's also, as you said, it's filled with amazing instructors and people like Jeff, who are just, they kind of live for the students, right? They're there providing that support. And I found too, when I was there, as you said, the students are really switched on and they're really, it's hard to describe unless you see it and interact with it yourself.
Yeah, and you have like little pods where students are sort of doing creative brainstorming sessions, and like it felt like, as you said, like going to a studio or like to a visual effects facility or so, because like it had the same vibe, it has the same look that's going on there, and I feel like the students they look like they're working in an environment already, which is really nice. So it was good to see that, and I think it's the right step to get into the industry like that. It's very well done.
Great. So let's talk a bit. We've talked about this before, and it's always an interesting topic. But what, in your opinion, somebody who's been in the industry for over 2 decades, I believe, has worked on crazy projects, some of the most challenging the industry has seen in terms of new technologies and new techniques. What do you think students should focus on to help with future success in their professional careers?
Yeah, it's funny enough because we're talking so much about this right now because of AI changing things. And also at DD, we're talking a lot. What do we expect from students or from new starters? And to me, it's like it's a mix. It's on the one hand, you need to have the foundations really down. And so like, even though there is all this new stuff coming, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't know how to do all the basics, like to understand your craft. If you want to be an animator, really sit down and learn that. And I think you guys are teaching exactly that. You give like a strong backbone, and then you're ready for these changes, I think. And obviously, now in this time where it changes in the air a little bit with new technologies coming, I encourage students to like daddle with it, to just be open-minded about it, to see the workflows, how they might change. But I think it's the best time. I'm so excited for kids that are in school right now, because they're going to be learning the change as it happens over the next few years, unlike industry veterans that have to sort of adapt to a new way of working over the next few years, and this is like, I mean, with ChatGPT, stable diffusion, there's so many new advances. But again, it's critical to be well-rounded as an artist and learn the basics. Don't skip that stuff, because I think then you're going to have a hole in your repertoire. And so it's very important to go to a school like the CA, and I think like and learn the nitty-gritty of how we're doing things, and then it will be easier to adapt to the changes.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I find when you use these tools, they don't do the work for you. They basically amplify whatever
Yeah.
level you're at. They amplify your power in a way, which is can be super. Like it can save you time. It can make you more efficient. It can make your work. It kind of frees you up to be
Mhm.
more creative, to be more efficient, to produce more quality work. But you have to know the foundation, as you said. So
Yeah, and it's repetition makes the master, I think, So meaning like if you want to be an animator, animate. If you want to do look dev, and you get more and more well-rounded. And like a school like this gives you everything to do that and like to train your eye, because a lot of it comes down to that. I'm not on the box all the time, but now I have a better eye. So for me, it's easier to get to a goal quicker, and that's what everybody has to learn to get more and more proficient in the industry, I think.
yep. Okay. So I've got some questions for you. We answered some about AI already. What other things can you talk about? Like what's coming up? What's your impression of where we're at with the rebound from the strike right now?
Oh, I think yeah, there also. I think it's an interesting time. The last 6, 7 months have been very difficult, obviously, for this industry as a whole. Because like pretty much all work dried up to a certain extent. But I think there's nothing to worry, especially if you. When I talked at Bow Valley, like it seems most everybody is like gearing up to come into the market in spring or fall, which is the perfect timing right now, because there's going to be a lot of work coming up. Because now that the writers have settled, the actors, we hope so as well. We expect that there will be the opposite following always, because there was a lack of content. Now there will be a lot of content, and this is a very good moment for students to break in, because when there isn't work, it's harder for a student to break in, no question, because seniors are available. But there will be this situation in the market where we will need more people than available, and that is always perfect for students to join the industry and then show what they got. So I would say get ready for spring, and this next summer is going to be very busy in the industry.
Great. And so we have some alumni credits on the screen here. Talking about a strategy, what would you recommend for somebody who's just starting out, who has big ideas, wild dreams about working on some of these types of projects, but they have no experience and everything? What would you say is the kind of some key things to focus on aligning yourself with certain types of individuals, certain mind frames that you got to stay within? What would you suggest to get here when it feels so far away?
Well, I'm from Germany. For me, it was very far away, especially like when I joined the industry. It seemed impossible to do that step. It wasn't even a thought that you could go to somebody to say like, "I want to work in Hollywood." Just good luck. And I think you dream and work hard and you will get there. That's the thing, because we provide all the tools that you can achieve this, and set your goal. Just understand what you want to do. That is, I think, the most important thing, that you really understand it. Like, don't just say, I want to do visual effects. Understand what aspect of that you want to do, and then make that your core focus. I mean, I know this sounds silly, but for me, I always believe you will get there. This is not the question if you work hard, and this is your ultimate goal. And that's why the CEA exists, right? We want to open the doors to the students to get there. But it's down to you, that you follow your dream, because if you need to want to do your job, like as you say, I do it now for years, and I love this job so much, but it is a lot of effort and work, to get there and to stay there. And so you got to enjoy it. So meaning, find that niche within, whether it's animation, whether it's look dev, modeling. There's so many wonderful areas, and I'm sure you guys sort of have a niche for a certain thing within there, and then just work hard. You will get there. There's no question.
Okay, and last question for you. When you're young or just starting out, a lot of times your work feels precious to you.
Mhm.
Um, you sink a lot of time and energy into creating things that are very close to your heart. Um, Tell me about maybe the importance of finding a way to separate yourself from your work while remaining connected in a healthy and positive way?
I mean, it's incredibly challenging, and I need to tell because this is for everybody. It's the same for me. Whenever you put your precious effort into something and you like it, and you know obviously, and I think it's part of the process of an artist to sort of go through the valleys of pain. I'm sorry to say that, but that's a little bit how it goes.
True.
You know, this is part of our industry to get criticized. Like at DD, I give the notes to the people, but I get the notes as well from our clients. And so it's no matter where you are on the ladder, you will always have to deal with, not getting it your way 100%, but that's okay. And I think it is a matter of practice to get used to letting go and seeing the importance in notes. And it's normally, like for me, it took me a while, to be honest, like to get fully used to that. And again, that's why like it's important. You get criticized in school, or not criticized, critiqued in school. You critique the work of your fellow artist, and you get the same critiques. And it's important to be open-minded to that. How do you prepare? I mean, everybody has to find their own way, but it's something that it isn't about you. It's about finding the best in this work, And it's I think one thing to always to put yourself in the shoes of your supervisor who is giving you those notes. As I say, they're not from that person. It's not about personal things. It's not like I say like, oh, I don't like this, I don't like you. It's more the client doesn't like that, so we got to find a way to improve it, And anyway, and I think it's a different mindset, but it's one you gotta just work on and learn and just be aware. It's like that for everyone. I mean, for me, for all my colleagues, I know it always, whenever they talk about their own shot, they talk about it different. That's just how it is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I promised I wouldn't keep you very long. So thank you for joining us. Great insight as always. We'll have you back again soon to talk about something maybe more in depth, because it's always fun talking to you. So have a great day, Phil. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it.
Okay. Have a good day, everybody. Bye.
Yep. Priyank, are you still in the house?
I am.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Matt.
This is great. Priyank Mirarka is our director of VFX programs for CEA. He's also has instructor cred at BVCCEA, working with the students there in the visual effects program. We're going to go through this quick because I know we're on a schedule. You've worked on some amazing projects, both as a compositor and more recently in production, which is fantastic. Tell me a bit about your background.
Yeah. So, I started my journey in visual effects in film school, in VFX school. So that was like way back, maybe 13 years back, when I went to school to study visual effects. I had no idea about what I was doing. And I went to school, there was a lot of hard work obviously involved. But I got there, got my first job in the industry. And I started off as a compositor, and for about 10 years I was compositing. So I went from low budget TV shows to high-end movies like you see here, Black Adam and fun stuff like Stranger Things, and all these great projects. So there was a time when I was a junior, a mid, a senior, and then eventually I wanted to do some more things. I wanted to know more about the industry, so I decided to pursue the production side of things. So then I went into production. I started managing shows, and then I wanted to do more. I wanted to give to students who want to learn about visual effects. So I decided to get into teaching. And over the past year, it was just been great working at BBC and helping out students. I was doing the pre-production course, and now I'm teaching compositing, and it's just always great to be part of this industry in many ways.
And that leads right into this question. Great. So why would you say somebody should study advanced VFX at Bow Valley College Center for Entertainment Arts?
It's a great question. Like I said, I went to school earlier, and then when I stepped in the industry, there were so many things that I'm like, I was never taught about this. I was never told about this. And then when I started teaching at BBC, I saw that the program had something. For example, it had short grid that has never that is usually never taught in school. And ShotGrid is such an important tool. It's like, every artist uses it. Obviously, the production uses it. So tools like these were never taught in school before, and now I'm so glad, like, BVCCEA teaches this thing. So things like this, we have, cutting edge curriculum. We always have people from the industry come talk to our students. And I think the most important thing is we try to mimic a studio environment, a real world environment where, we want you to be ready for the visual effects world right from day one. We're training you to, and we're mentoring you to do that. And of course, we have great guests like Phil come talk to us, and I'm also connected to the industry, so we try and get guests all the time to talk to you, and always we're always updating our curriculum. We're always in the present.
Yeah, industry mentorship and guidance is obviously critical, and there's an idea some people get, and it's possible. You could study this stuff online. Everything is available now on the internet. There's a very kind of marked difference between trying to learn these things on your own without any mentorship or guidance, and then having somebody who's working on movies and films and game projects that are not released yet, working with the latest technologies, using the latest techniques, learning from somebody who is in studio all day and then teaching you at night. There is an advantage there. Am I right? Yeah.
And like you said, totally. Now there's YouTube, there's other online platforms that you can go in and learn the tools. But learning tools is good, is great to a point, but you need that you need that experience, and you need that guidance from industry professionals, because ultimately VFX is a team sport. It's all about working with the team. So when you're in school, when you're at we're working at BVCCEA, it's all about at least we try to get you to foster that teamwork. We try to get you to work with collaborative projects. We're working, with we try to work with students from other programs as well, whether it's taking stuff from the modeling team, bringing into your projects, texturing, lighting it, whatever needs to be done. We're trying to build that environment that you would be in a studio where you're interacting with different teams. Of course, you're learning new tools, but you're also getting to learn from the people around you, learn from your mentors. It's not just about the tool, but it's also about having that mindset of being curious, being creative, and moving forward.
Yeah, and it's hard to simulate, it's hard to simulate being around other people and bouncing ideas off one another, discovering your shortcomings and the things you need to work on by just being around somebody who's maybe slightly better at you in certain skill sets, and maybe helping them back in what you're strong at. So you can't do that alone, and you can kind of do that online,
Yes.
but it's a lot different sitting at a desk surrounded by a group of people, troubleshooting an issue together, learning together. It really is kind of, you're adding power to this problem solving equation and this ability to troubleshoot, and just you're getting that experience of learning and existing in a team, which is what working in studio is all about, because you have to understand how to act in that team environment, and even how, especially with hybrid and online life at studios, teamwork and kind of clear division of tasks and the ability to communicate effectively with your peers, it matters. So tell me about how we're doing kind of a future-proof program model. Like, we are preparing students not for an industry of a couple of years ago, but having those industry people who are on the cutting edge teaching kind of safeguards us against the program being outdated.
Great question. So I think the main idea for us to make sure that whatever our curriculum is updated to meet the industry standards. First of all, we're always working with the latest technology, the latest softwares, whatever is industry standard. And then we always maintain strong connections with the industry, with the professionals. We attend conferences. We actively seek feedback from people in disciplines, again, like Phil and other supervisors. We're always talking to them. We're always understanding what the industry is going towards, what we're gearing towards, what we need to prepare our students for. And also said, now there's a lot of talk about AI. So in one of my classes in compositing, I encourage students to, don't be shy, don't be scared of AI taking over your jobs. You are the artist. These are just tools, and ultimately it's how you adapt to these tools that you use them and push yourself forward. Use this as something to be more efficient. So in my compositing class, in one of our students was harnessed the power of AI to create a nice background to replace a green screen that shot, to replace it with a nice AI created background. And going forward, that will be the future in a way. We want to make our work more efficient. We don't want to say no to AI. We want to welcome it. We want to adapt to it. We want to make sure that what we are learning, we can use these as tools and not shy away from them.
Great. And last question. If a student says, will I be ready for the industry after the 2-year advanced diploma program at BVCCEA, what's your thoughts on that?
I say yes. I will say though, this is it does require a lot of hard work. VFX and this industry in general it's a lot of work. So when you come into the program, we're expecting a certain level of commitment from you, and with that hard work, we're here to mentor you. We're here to push you. We're here to support you in every way. We're here to listen to you, to your ideas, to be there for you in any way that you need. At the same time, we're providing the connections, the expertise, the tools, the environment that would help you, that would benefit you through your 2-year journey in whatever program you choose to do it in.
There you go. I promised you'd be done by 10, and look, here we are. We made it.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Matt.
Yeah, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Priyank will be back later to help answer questions in the Q&A and stuff. So feel free to drop them in. I will monitor and answer live what I can. If there's something specific about VFX, I'll save it for him later in the broadcast. Okay. Thanks, Priyank. See you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Bye. So let me take a moment to answer a few questions that I can answer in the Q&A. We did AI. We've talked AI. And there'll be other, we have some other guests talking game development stuff. We can return to that going back to specific industries and specific programs. Okay, AI. Yes. So in the back half of the presentation, I'm going to talk scholarships. I'm going to talk admissions. I'm going to tell you how all that works. So just stay tuned for that. How much opportunities does Canada have for 3D animation and VFX field? As we said with the strike, everything kind of quieted down this year, but there's a lot of projects on the back burner that now the production teams are looking at again. And things will be ramping up. Everybody tells me closer to, you'll see it kind of accelerating again. And as Phil said, closer to the end of the year and the spring is all signs kind of point towards a massive resurgence and a lot of work coming. So that is what we know right now. 2 years from now, hopefully all of these resolutions stick and everyone's happy, and we all figure out a way to kind of work forward with this new technology, make it work for everybody, especially the artists. January intake, we're still open currently. So we're getting down to the wire. You have to get on it. You can go to programs@theca.ca, send an email, and we'll set you up with a specialist in your region to help you navigate all of that. And again, we're going to talk about that later, okay? And again, scholarships, I'll talk about that later. And we have somebody coming on, our admissions person, later in the presentation, and she will walk you through all that. Yes, the question about are the programs competitive, and is the fields, the different areas of specialization competitive? Some are more than others. For example, rigging and animation, if you can become a rigger and you're good at it, you'll find a job. They're always short riggers. Other ones, you'll have to look into the field that you want to get into. And through conversations with people like Priyank, you can kind of decide what your area of focus should be based off of your specific set of skills. You can also discover that early on in the program and then choose a specialization based off of your discovery and kind of the triggers of what you find you're most passionate about. You can also do that before you come on the program, just by reaching out to that program's email, asking those questions. We can set you up. We could even get you a private conversation if need be with an industry professional to help you kind of sort yourself out. Scholarship requirements, yeah, I'll go over those later. These programs I'll just say that there are scholarships available for all of these programs, but they're based on the quality of your portfolio and your application. So we'll get into that more later. Yeah, and actually I see Jeff's name mentioned here. Jeff, are you around? Are you muted? I can't hear you. There he is.
Is it working now?
No, okay, it's just the noise suppression. Got it. We'll talk loud. How are you doing today?
Doing good. I've got we're a little bit rainy, and I've got a little bit of noise. You might hear a few bangs, but we're doing good.
That's okay. Calgary's construction in Calgary, it's a busy city, lots happening there. Big resurgence. The energy's huge. It is Calgary. What do they say? It's the Texas of Canada? No.
I think we try to avoid that now.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Bad. My bad. So thanks for joining us. That was great to hear from Phil and all the nice things he had to say about the school and the students and you. So that's nice to hear from somebody like him. Really happy he was able to come and join you and see firsthand all the amazing work you're doing there. Tell me about this journey you've been on. Pre-2022, before we launched, you were involved at getting this thing rolling, and it's now the fall of 2023, headed into 2024. It's almost hard to quantify or even put in words what has happened in those 2 years. Please try.
It is tough. I mean, we went from, I guess, 2021 this space that I'm in right now in the area I'm in was offices. They were pretty nice, but relatively boring compared to what they are now. And so we went from 2021 as an idea to building that whole area that Phil talked about, where we now have a soundproof room, which I probably should have used today, which would have been smart. But we've got a soundproof sound recording room. We've got 4 lab computer rooms, another one being built. We're using a theater upstairs that has full 7.1 surround sound to watch movies. We have probably the nicest room in the campus for our foundation program, where currently right now they're sketching a live model, which in 2021, at the beginning of 2022, we couldn't do. We couldn't actually bring someone here at that point. And now we literally have a model upstairs that the students are sketching. And so it's really grown. We launched the film program 3 weeks ago now. No, 4 weeks. So we've been going 1 month with our film program now, and it's just been amazing. And then we have the production management program coming next, where they'll make sure that all the creative types are actually getting things done and completing. So always joke that's the program where everybody who actually gets the awards, that's the one that goes. Oh, there's our new film. Amazing. So that's our new film group. They are from all around the world. I know someone in the chat was mentioning Turkey. The two in the back in the middle are both students from Turkey. They've been friends since I think elementary school, and both of them wanted to make movies. They wanted to make the movies that they want to make, and so they came here to learn to build and to build the stories and show what they want to create. So it's been phenomenal working with these students. I actually get to teach this group, which is how I know about the 7.1, because we get to watch movies together and discuss how it was made and talk about the directors. So it's tough. I feel like I just threw a whole bunch of words all together there with the growth, but it's been amazing seeing how this is growing. We'll have our first graduates at the end of this month from the animation program, and then the VFX students next April will be our first graduates of the advanced programs.
That's amazing. Yeah, it is. It's hard to kind of put it all in a neat little package because so much has happened in the 2 years. And the school, the leadership at the school, Allison, Tony, yourself, everybody that's kind of touched this project has really, really touched it in a great way and brought their best to it. And that has affected the campus culture. And Phil talked about it a bit. You're right in the heart of it. Your office is right near the entrance. You see the students coming and going every day. Tell me about the students and the campus culture that you experience.
I think the coolest thing is that everybody loves what they're doing. I've worked with a lot of different programs. I think I'm up to 16 different programs now at the college. And I've never seen passion like I have with these programs, where a student came in this morning and said, I knew a little bit of animation in India, but now I'm learning from this instructor, John, and he's just inspired me to learn more about this. I'm in the VFX program, and now I'm going to work with Bruce, who was going to teach me how he did VFX. And did you know Bruce knew this person, and they knew this person, and they did this, and they just, the excitement that they bring. You come to work. I come at 8 every morning, and it's 8 a.m. So you normally come into work going, okay, I got to get a coffee. And I don't feel like I need that when I see these students, because they're just so excited to be here and they want to. They're one of the feedback that we got was, can we do more events where we can just all hang out and talk about things? Can we watch more movies together? We're doing a game event where we're going to have students come and play games here for a day. And they're just excited. We have a group of students that come and play D&D every Friday. So they sit in the lunchroom and they play D&D every Friday because that's what they want to do, and they found their people to play it with. So that's kind of the big thing here, is that I feel like a lot of the students have really found the people that they want to be with, and they're learning something that they love.
That's amazing. And talking about another amazing thing, the amount of programs you guys have running in such a short amount of time, offering this high-level education experience is great. 3D animation, 3D modeling, visual effects, game development, film production now, as you just mentioned, just launched this fall. We have entertainment arts production management starting in January. And of course, foundation in entertainment arts, which is kind of the base certificate program for people who don't have as much experience, but want to get into the advanced programs. Or really just kind of experience art and the convergence of 2D and 3D in 2023, like how traditional art and kind of these modern technologies combine to create these amazing things. So I won't make you go into that. I just wanted to mention it. How about we talk about the campus a little? I got these amazing photos from Chris. The campus itself, state-of-the-art facility, state-of-the-art technology, a great place to be creative, as Phil said, to learn and to be on this journey.
Yeah, so it's been amazing having this space where students can actually connect with each other outside of class. Regularly in classes where they're working on a project, they won't be in the classroom. They'll be out in this area. They'll move those chairs. Eventually there will be consoles. I think they're getting installed this week for each one of those TVs, so that the instructor can just send the student out and say, hey, go play this game or go try this because this is relevant. You should look at Stray because the sound design and understand how they made a cat interesting. And where that photo is actually taken, there's going to be an arcade cabinet, so students can experience the classics and understand where gaming came from and where it went from. At the end of that hall, so the door off to the side there is one of the classrooms, and at the end of the hall is the sound recording room. This is one of the classrooms. Trying to figure out which one. They're all pretty much the same. This one's it's back there from me. This one's it's 3051 actually is the number for this one. The nice thing about this one is, and this is actually, you can't quite see it because there's a little bit of lens flare in the top right or in the middle there, but about where that lens flare is where the camera is. And so when we do have our expert instructors who aren't in Calgary right now, who are online, we actually have an educational assistant who's sitting up at the front there, and the camera that's working to watch the students, to focus on those students, to make sure that they're getting not only amazing curriculum, but also those amazing experiences. So you look at people like Priyank, who bring so much more than just the knowledge. They bring a whole bunch of experience where they actually get students ready for the classroom. And sometimes telling them the stories of, hey, don't do this because I did this, that you wouldn't normally get if you just had someone who just taught.
Yeah, that's super valuable. Just having somebody to say, don't waste your time there. I did that multiple times, and it took me years to learn not to do that. And you look to them because you just see where they're at professionally, and there's no question in taking their advice. You just know they're telling you something truthful, and it's kind of an accelerated path to success by simply sponging all of the knowledge, information you can from these people. So that's awesome. You mentioned the sound recording room. Chris sent me a nice photo of that. Looks amazing. Hopefully we start doing podcasts from there soon. Hearing more student stories, because there's lots of great ones in
It's
Calgary.
actually more than that now. They've actually added
Wow.
holders for the headphones that light up and speakers up at the top. I think the only thing we're missing now is just the camera in there. But yeah, there's a lot of students who have said, we want to do podcasting. We want to hook up to this. There's one student who asked if he could bring in his guitar and do some recording. And we said, yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah. Record some music, get ready to go, talk to the game students, find a way that you can connect and work together, all of you.
Yeah, and I was hearing stories of more collaboration, more cross-program collaboration happening. So that's exciting. I'll rip through some of these public spaces. Here's the booth area, which is awesome. You see it in person. It's really amazing. Lounge.
I don't know if you've gotten to see how much that area is being used now. I don't know if last time you were here, that area is now being used by groups of students, and they're plugging into the screen and they're building games there.
Oh, wow.
When Phil was here, there was literally multiple groups of students making games up on those TVs.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, let me look at for some questions that you can help answer. This is a good one. The options for available in Calgary beyond for the VFX industry. So Alberta is a burgeoning market for visual effects, animation, gaming. Government's doing lots of incentivization to attract these studios in. We had Unity join the Calgary economy last year, I believe. And obviously more will come as we kind of grow the industry, and you have to grow it by creating the professionals and having that availability. Luckily, the way the industry is now, most people work online post-pandemic, and that never went back because I think they found efficiency went up when people don't have to commute as much, and people are comfortable working from home. So there's lots of options for upcoming graduates. And you know what? The option's there too to just move. Like they can move to other major centers if they want to, if they find they need to, or they want to be part of it. But a lot of the studios here, most people are working online from home anyway. So it's one of those things now. It's funny. So yes, growing. Maybe you could tell us a bit about all of the energy that's being put into economic development of the creative industries in Alberta right now?
Yeah, so the Calgary Economic Development has a huge focus on the film industry, the entertainment industry as a whole. So they put together multiple projects, multiple reports on how to build these industries. The government is involved, working with them. The local government is our mayor is literally traveling around bringing work into Calgary, traveling around meeting studios. We have a local studio that's coming at the beginning of next month to come in and meet the VFX students because their biggest reason of not growing bigger, and they're working on huge DC projects. But the reason that they're not working on more projects is that it's been tough to actually find people in the city, and they want to work with people in the city. But finding people in the city who can actually do the work has been difficult for them. There's a company out. Now I'm not going to remember the name, but a game company out of Edmonton keeps reaching out saying, "Hey, when can we have your students? When can your students come work with us? How soon till they graduate?" And that's been pretty common, is getting companies reaching out saying, "When will you have graduates? We need people. We need to get these things out, and we need them now." Is basically the big one. We actually have a group coming later today from who's been working with us on a grant project where they're hiring, starting with 10 students, looking at expanding bigger and bigger to work with students while they're actually in the program to do things like virtual twinning or digital twinning and other elements in both real world, simulated worlds, and other elements. So it's been crazy how many different industries beyond just the VFX industry, beyond just the animation industry, are suddenly going, "Oh wait, we can use that. That'd be great." So
Yeah. Does BVC have a dorm for students? No.
but another post-secondary in the city does have one, and we can help set them up with a place to live. So
Yeah, and there's we can also align you with other programs to help you find accommodation.
yeah, I just helped a student this morning find supports for getting accommodations.
Do students need to buy their own computers before they start the program at BVCCEA?
Not at all. Everything is set up on a virtualized system. So any computer that you can log into that has relatively good internet can log in, and when you're here, you just log into our system. You have every program, all the licenses ready to go, everything, just log in and it's good to go. So,
and a student at BVCCEA can take every class in person if they choose.
Nearly every class. We do put a couple courses online, just for the sake of getting used to a little. You will likely be working remotely, so we do put a couple courses online just to get you used to remote work a little bit.
Okay, so basic laptop or computer needed.
There's space available for those online courses. If you are taking the course online, you can come in and take the course from me.
Okay, so no computer required.
No computer required.
That's great. And most classes are. It's a unique model because a lot of the industry you'll find are they're mostly in Vancouver, I'd say, because that's where the industry is centered in Canada, but these instructors are also very busy. So you find no matter, even if they were in Vancouver teaching in Vancouver, they'd still need to do it online because there's no way they can get to a school, get set up. So it's one of those things when you're dealing with, say, your higher level compositing courses and stuff. That person's online, but you have an educational. The name is
educational assistant. So there's always an educational assistant
in the class facilitating the technology and helping you in person as well. So it's almost like you have two people on your side in every class. Let me see. Is there a placement cell or training? There's no specific, because it's all based on your personal development. And what we'll say is higher level students, and it's been tricky this year with the strike, obviously, but higher level students are finding work before they graduate, when the industry is healthy and booming, which we hope it returns to right away. And it was for many years before this strike. And as Phil mentioned, it looks like there's a lot of productions that will need to be completed coming up. So we've had students and alumni that worked in year one because they were mature and they had some prior experience, and they understood networking and how to apply and get jobs. So there is the ability to work while you study if your skills allow, because it's you still got to be of the caliber to get that job, right? So, and we're definitely through your industry connections, your teachers. If those skills are ready and you're willing, there is an opportunity. There's also, we should mention, depends on what the government does. Currently, they're allowing full-time work for international students this year, but I'm not sure if that'll extend into next year. So you might go down to 20 hours. We don't know yet. We'll see. Let me see. Any other questions for Jeff? Lots of questions. Thanks for all the questions. Answer that one. There's lots of work in Calgary for people who just wanted to find work outside of school. Is this correct, Jeff? Maybe not even in the industry, but just a job to help support your schooling.
There are definitely jobs. Our students are finding jobs. It's not necessarily as many in the industry while you're taking the classes as you build up your skills, but there are definitely jobs available.
Yeah. And 50% of lectures are online. Will it affect a string dose? I'm not sure, but there's questions.
So with international students, there's 50% residency requirement. If the instructor is online but you're in person, it's considered an in-person class. And so as long as you're in class, and we'll always make sure that even though you do have some courses to prepare you for remote work, that you will have more than 50% program in person, or at least with you in person with an educational assistant.
Great. Unreal in the 3D animation course, I don't know if it's baked into the curriculum per se, but there's so much exposure to the game development students. Access to Unreal is free. So VFX students, animation students, everybody's learning Unreal, even if it's not, and part of the curriculum, because they're finding it's a lot easier to render and light your projects in Unreal. And visual effects. It's a great tool to know how to use for anything to do with virtual production. And it's just a modern tool as it advances and becomes more and more powerful. It's being used in more and more scenarios. So you have lots of time outside of class in your labs, and then beyond that to get after it and learn those things, and discover, align yourself with people that already know Unreal. Ask questions, find the answers you need, get set up. So you can definitely learn Unreal as a side gig if you're in animation type thing, right? Let me see. Harsh winters. Tell me about the harsh winters in Calgary. They are harsh. I'm actually from Calgary, but they're also, Calgary's one of the sunniest cities in Canada. So even when it's cold, a lot of times it's really sunny. They do clear the streets. And they do have an army of snowplows. So it's rare that the city's totally shut down. Things can slow down, but the attitude in Calgary is like, get those streets cleaned up and keep going. So it's not really ever that things get shut down, and it's not quite Arctic. You get a big snowstorm every now and then, but people are resilient there, and things keep happening. What do you think about that, Jeff?
Well, and the one benefit is that we are on the train line. So you legitimately can get on the train, ride the warm train, take 5 steps, and you're in the college. So there's ways to avoid winter. You still feel it, but there are ways to avoid winter as you get used to it. And as I've said to many students, no matter where we live, there's going to be extreme weather in some way, too hot, too cold. Whenever you get used to it, and it doesn't take that long. So we're still alive.
Yeah, and I see a question about the film industry. Talk a little bit about why you guys launched the film program in Calgary and what's happening with the film industry in Alberta. Obviously, strike affected things this year, but what is the goal of the Alberta government, the local municipalities, and just what is the big push happening right now in Alberta around film?
So Calgary's doing pretty good already. Our film industry blew up. Ghostbusters, Last of Us, Prey, all of those films were filmed in a very short amount of time. And the big thing that they found was there weren't enough people who knew what to do in that area. If we're looking at TV, Fargo is filmed. I can almost see where Fargo is filmed from here. All of our studios are booked. I think as of last time I checked, it was 3 years. So it's probably more now because of the strike bumping things back a bit. But all the major studios were booked years and years in advance. But the biggest weakness that we had in Calgary is talent. And that's in film, that's in all of these areas. So that's where we came in, is where we want to make sure that we're teaching people to actually be on the set, understand the set etiquette, do the actual work, hold the camera, maybe not hold the camera, maybe run the cables, set up the lights, and be able to actually do things, because that's our biggest weakness. It's not that we can't grow, because we're already growing. It's that we can't grow fast enough because we don't have enough people to be here for it. So that's why this program exists, is to get people on set working on the sets.
You know what? Thanks, Jeff. That's awesome. There's a lot more questions, so feel free to keep answering them as I talk. And I'm going to jump to, I think it's a good time to bring in Subdarshi to talk about the film program now that we're here. And then after that, we will go to talk about the other programs available at BVCCEA. And so thanks, Jeff. Jeff will keep answering questions for you, keep shooting them our way. We'll do our best. I'll return to them multiple times. So thanks, Jeff. Thanks for being here. That was awesome. Subdarshi, are you around?
Yeah, hey, hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, great.
Good. I skipped ahead a little in my schedule, but we were talking about film, and I thought, you know what, let's just keep talking about film for 10 or 15 minutes, and then we'll jump back to the other stuff. So everybody, welcome Subdarshi Tripthi. He is one of our instructors for a film program at Bow Valley College Center for Entertainment Arts. He is also the director of film programs for CEA. He's helping us to develop the film program, the curriculum, the content. He has a rich history in the film industry, which I invite him to talk about now. Introduce yourself, sir.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an interesting couple of decades. So I'm someone who started off actually into classical animation, and then eventually moved on to live action, and then broadcast, and the business of content, and judging content, etc. It's been a long and rewarding journey, from running channels for kids to travel and food to dramas, so making content, directing them. But the most rewarding part has been actually working with various people from various parts of the world, and working in those parts of the world. So be it Middle East or Africa or UK or Canada, I've developed and directed and produced content all across. So currently, when I see a classroom full of students coming from these regions, the connect gets established nicely, and that's what I benefit from. But yeah, everything else is like, it looks nice when you spend about a couple of decades in the industry in a single page. But yeah, it took that amount of time.
And I saw a question. There's some sensitive stuff going on between the governments of Canada and India right now. I saw a question. I want to answer it without going, I don't want to get too much into it, but what's your impression of life in Canada for somebody from India? Maybe in these programs in Calgary, in anywhere in Canada, because we see things on the news, and then there's kind of this on the ground real life element here in Canada. What could you say to that?
I think, see, I've worked in news channels as well. And I think what we are feeling here on the ground is way lesser than what it is being portrayed, especially in that part of the world. And I completely agree with the concerns, because these are children of some families, certain families, big decision to move halfway around the globe, etc. But we have fantastic set of students coming from India and neighboring countries. And the current batch that I'm teaching, there are at least 3 of them in there. And it's absolutely normal and okay to be here. And I don't think we're, it's not the way it has been painted, to be honest. I live here in Canada for almost a decade, and it's on ground, it's a different story altogether.
Yeah, I saw something about guaranteeing safety of students and stuff, and I just want to say clearly, it's ultra safe.
Oh,
All of our, especially in Calgary, there's a large percentage, maybe 40% Indian students at BVCCEA. It's an amazing culture of students. It's a very safe environment. And the school itself is hyper diverse. You have representation from all over the globe, and it's more about collaboration and connection. And it's almost like that doesn't even come up because there's so many faces from so many regions, and it's more like, oh my God, where are you from? Tell me your story. Let's grow together type attitude. So that's good to hear. Let's talk about advanced film production course overview. We won't go through all of this, but tell me about the course, kind of the fundamental pillars, and what we are attempting to instill in these students.
So broadly, the course has been designed keeping the 5 principal domains of live action film, whether it's direction, production, production design, cinematography, and post-production. I mean, these are the broad things. Filmmaking, as you know, is not only appreciating the art, understanding about the form of art, but also storytelling, how to tell a story, having the necessary skill sets to tell the story, and also how to sell the story at the end of it. And all those have been beautifully combined and amalgamated into the course. And with tremendous support from Jeff and Chris, both at the Institute, we have a fabulous course which has been developed around it. So broadly speaking, if you ask about the course overview, it's not only going to teach you about acquiring technical skills, it's also about fostering creativity, critical thinking, and appreciation for the art and craft of storytelling and of filmmaking.
Excellent. And there was actually, if you haven't done it, grab that QR code. All the course titles and descriptions are there on the website. So go to the website, find that, go deeper into that. We won't go through every course right now, but that is available for you online. So history matters. Tell me about how we honor film history within the program.
Yeah, see, if you don't know your history, you don't know where you're going. So that's a popular saying. But the rich history of filmmaking is essential for any knowing about it is essential for any aspiring filmmaker. And the knowledge is going to provide you with real deep insight into how the industry has developed, how it continues to evolve into the digital age. So I'll just quickly take an example of what is happening currently with the students. We just, whether it's learning about the silent era or the golden period of Hollywood, which is the 30s and 40s, we try to always draw a parallel between that era to this era and what is going to happen. So there is always a relevance of why you're looking at it, not only as a piece of art you're appreciating it, which is important, but also understanding it and doing it. And the last exercise which we did with the students was a very interesting one, which is they all made their individual short films, which are actually silent films based on a contemporary movie. So they took clippings of the contemporary movie and built their own silent film. So you know how to put the text on screen, which is when you limit the resources, how do you tell the story? So they made it on Inglourious Basterds, and which Jeff is teaching them. So it all is beautifully amalgamated and very holistic. So what they're learning from film appreciation and director's work, they're practicing that and on the history class and learning from the history. So yeah, that's how the history is important.
Yeah, and let's talk about kind of getting your hands dirty, the hands-on experience, how that's important, really important, because as you mentioned, you need to know the why, but you also need to know the how, and you need to experience that daily almost. And Chris was telling me how he forced them to start on cell phones as an exercise, and now they're moving into FX3s, I believe, and then from there, once they kind of understand more about cinematography and storytelling, they'll get access to better equipment, which is important. And I always say, giving somebody who hasn't done those basics an $80,000 camera is like giving a 16-year-old a Ferrari or what, like nothing's good it's going to happen. So talk about getting your hands dirty in the program and the importance of that hands-on practical learning.
Yeah, I mean, the first beautiful exercise that Chris did with them was introduce yourself through a short film on yourself, made with your phone. So it is hands-on from day one. Theory is important, but practice is very crucial. No matter how much theory you teach them, eventually when the rubber hits the road, then only you know how much you've imbibed from it. And the knowledge will make you in a real world context, honing your skills and building your portfolio and doing it yourself rather than just learning about it. So the entire courseware has been designed based on that approach.
Awesome. And what about emerging technologies in the realm of film? Like, how do we prepare students to think, not only think about it, but to understand what's coming and how this foundational kind of education they'll get will also kind of help them just be able to adapt as things are changing so rapidly now, year over year, as I find they are.
Yeah, I think the facilities at BVC is fantastic. As we know, technology is not going to stop. It's going to go on evolving itself. It depends on two things. A, your instructors and how well they have been exposed to technology, which is, as you know, is top of the line. Second is what kind of facility do you have under the roof at the institute itself, which is fabulous. The facility that I saw over there and then we get to use for the students. So, and also they will be exposed to virtual filmmaking in the future, which is a huge advantage and almost makes me jealous. I wish, for a filmmaker to have that access to learn, to make mistake, and to be allowed to make mistake is so amazing and learn from it. I think that kind of amalgamates both, like hands-on learning as well as emerging technology go hand in hand. And the institute is well equipped and the instructors are well exposed to train you on those equipments, and they will always be in the best technology.
Yeah, and they're really lucky working with Chris. With his background, the ability to slap a camera rig together and go shoot something within 20 minutes and then get it out of the camera the right way into a computer, into editorial software, work with sound. Chris is a master at all of that from his background. So the mix of, say, the work you're doing with him being there, helping them, guiding them daily through the practical aspects of the program, and then Jeff just being there with the mind he has. And actually I'm really excited to see as we get deeper into deeper terms, there'll be more instructors coming on, more industry-led initiatives. And you mentioned the virtual production aspect. We're aligned with BEMA in Calgary, and they have this massive, I went and saw the facility, it's massive. It might be 30 feet tall. It's at least 20, maybe 20 by 50 or something. Virtual screen in their facility. So awesome stuff. What about discovering yourself within the collective? So finding yourself, your own voice as we say in film, discovering your passion, where you want to specialize um, through this collaboration and working with others.
Yeah, I mean, it is a team sport, end of the day, filmmaking. And what we are essentially making are people who are storytellers, right? Who have the necessary skill sets to tell their story in their own way. But the reality is they also have to be ready to get into a team at the base level and climb the ladder up in the industry. So they have to be set ready or the production ready. So learning how to network and learning how to work as a cohesive team is very important. And that's completely taken care of because the current exercise they're doing two separate projects as two separate teams. So they've already started building things as teams while they're learning the basics. And also, it not only enhances your skills, it also provides valuable networking opportunities. Imagine Cameron and Spielberg's of future work studying in the same batch. And Jeff just spoke about these two kids they're in my class as well, and who come from Turkey, who are childhood friends, and you don't know what future holds for them. So collaborating with them, imagine somebody from Nepal who's there in the class, what he can achieve in future. So yeah, networking and being in a collaborative environment, which this is an institute which can very beautifully provide. I mean, we were speaking about virtual production. Imagine building, we're already in a conversation about it, but imagine building Unreal capability into live action filmmaking being in your course in the future. What if you get exposed to virtual production through that, and where the same thing is being taught to the gaming and the visual effects guys. So it's a fantastic opportunity here.
Yeah, seeing the new programs launching, the opportunity for collaboration between artists, it's incredible. And the philosophy of the program. Just give me a quick kind of overview of your thoughts on
Yeah. I think very simply put, I think we mostly spoke about it, and that has been the philosophy. So if I may put it together in a sentence, it would be to provide aspiring filmmakers with a holistic education, and also balance tradition with innovation, or theory with practice, and individual growth with collaborative spirit. Balancing those things out, that's the core philosophy. And I'm so glad that the facility really helps in delivering this as a curriculum to the students.
Yep. It's about what you said. It's about understanding hierarchy on film sets. It's about respecting the process. It's about understanding your place in the process and how you can evolve over time, remaining professional. Film is a tricky business. There's so many layers to it, depending on if you want to stay on the production side or get into the practical, like on-set filmmaking. It's a tough gig. And it's good if you can go in balanced and try to remain balanced throughout without any crazy expectations of walking onto a set out of school and, as I said, handling a $250,000 or $500,000 camera. That's like, it's going to take you a while to get there. Maybe they'll let you hold the box of lenses and carry it from one side of the room to the other for the first month, but you got to earn trust, and it's relationships, right? So that collaboration, building those relationships, building that trust with people above you, finding mentors, discovering your path through professionalism and hard work and dedication. That's what it's all about. And I don't think we're trying to instill the kind of a fantasy about any of it. It's like we're teaching you practical skills.
And imagine being taught by people who practice it themselves day in, day out currently. So that's fabulous.
Awesome. Let's look at some questions. Are there any questions for Subhadarshi? You've worked in India for quite long. You wanted to know the advantage I will be getting in India after learning VFX film making from BVC. So studying, coming to Canada, I imagine, studying at BVC, and then returning to India What
Mhm.
advantages would you say somebody would get from that?
Yeah, I mean, content in India is on a super upswing right now. The economy is doing fabulous. OTTs are doing it. It's a blast that is happening over there. So much so that now consolidation is happening. The bigger players are consolidating. So you name the big OTT in the industry, they're there in India making Indian content, which is being distributed across the globe. So there is more and more work out there. They need skilled professionals, and especially who are trained abroad, and bring in that work culture with them, not only the skill sets. It's a human, and the payments are almost at par. So if whether it's making money, building a career, and then of course there are people like us who've spent a considerable time and career over there who are teaching here or building your career over here. So that will be a big help. It is a huge advantage to study and take back the knowledge and the work ethics from here to back home. And there are tremendous amount of content which are being developed right now in India, and the production level is pretty high. So huge advantage.
Okay. We answered the question around the geopolitical stuff, kind of, and I know it's a very nuanced topic. So if anybody in the questions has detailed concerns that would require some examination or discovery of your specific situation, contact programs at the ca.ca, send an email, add as much context as you can. We'll see if we can help you through whatever you're going through. Okay. We have a bunch of experts and specialists we can look to. So we'll do our best to help. It's maybe a bit too hard on something like this without that background and context to answer your question effectively or correctly. So please, programs at the ca.ca, explain yourself and we'll try to help. Let me see, anybody else? No. And Subadarshi will be there for questions. He can, oh wait, how would you differentiate India film industry with Canada in terms of work life? There's a good last question for you, Subadarshi.
Could you just
What's it like working in the film industry in India versus working on the film industry in Canada?
Okay. End of the day, it's the same. You're making content at both the places. The things are way more structured over here in Canada in a film set, and the pre-production is given tremendous amount of importance. Which is India is getting there in terms of the pre-production, but in terms of content that is being churned out currently, the contemporary content which is coming out from India and in Canada, they are at par, I would say. And some of the best shows on Netflix, which have done very well worldwide, are coming from there. So work life or the work culture is different only because you know things over here by different names. The departments are pretty similar, but the culture is a little different. And pre-production gets a lot of importance in Canada than in India, and that's where India is gearing up to. So if that answers the question.
Great. Perfect. Yeah. So Subadarshi is still available in the Q&A. And of course, we could always, if you want to have a discussion with him, maybe a little more detail, maybe we could set that up if you contact the program's email. So just ask. If you want something, you got to ask. We're available to help you make the right decision for your future. So whether that's with us or somewhere else, that is a matter of discovery based off of your personal situation. Okay, so reach out. And again, thanks, Subadarshi. That was awesome. We'll talk to you again soon. We're going to do a big, full, detailed info session around the film program, maybe next month or something. So look forward to that. It'll be good to really dive in, talk with Chris, talk with Jeff, look at individual courses and stuff. Okay. So thank you, Subadarshi. Have a great day, sir.
You do. Thank you.
Evo, is Evo around? I made you wait too long, Evo. I understand.
Evo is still
Oh,
around.
Evo's
I've
here.
been waiting. I've
Sorry,
been
Evo.
waiting patiently.
Oh, I'm so sorry. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Let's jump right in. Thanks for waiting. Evo is our director of game programs at CA. He's a longtime educator. He's got massive industry experience. He's a very smart guy. Everything to do with game development, game technology. Let's quickly go just a general, fast overview of the program, and then I'll ask you a few questions outside of that.
Sure thing. Yeah. Okay, so when it comes to the advanced game development program, I think one of the key things to understand, and a lot of the questions that I get also are about like the differences between being a game artist, a game designer, and a game programmer. And even all of those have subsections, but I'll focus on those three. Because for a lot of people, they want to work in games, but they want to do one of those things. Now, the way that this game development program is designed is to focus on all three. But the beauty of that is that when you're in the classroom, you're going to be sitting with some students who are more interested in becoming a game programmer, some students who are more interested in becoming a game artist, and some who are more interested in becoming a designer. And the program is designed so that a lot of it is team focused. So you're not just sitting there doing your assignment and, once you've completed your own assignment, you hand it in and wait for a grade. You're working on projects in a team. And not only does that help you learn your own skill, which, for example, if you wanted to be a game artist, you could say like, hey, I'm really just going to do the art in this game and someone else can do the programming. It also teaches you the value of working in a team, which is so essential when you work in the industry, because although it's possible, some indies have developed games all by themselves. This is not at all common in the industry, and that's not something that we teach per se, because what we want to do is make sure that you're prepared for your first job, and at your first job you're going to say, tell me about what it was like working in a team. And if you say, I've never worked in a team, I don't know what it's like to work with other people, they're like, maybe not the right fit for this company, because you're going to be working with other people, right? So it's great for that too. And the third thing is it teaches you, it creates a portfolio for yourself, because that's probably the other most important thing when it comes to applying for jobs, is that nobody shows up to a job interview and says, look at my grades. Look, I got a 9.6 for my programming course. They're like, I don't care. Show me what you've done. Show me what you've created. So that's what you're doing. And Matt is showing this slide here. This is a great example of just some of the tons and tons of games that students would create. This could literally be the portfolio of a single student, and then they'd have more than that. You're not going to come out with one game, not with two games. You're going to be creating, I think the total number just from coursework alone is around like something like 25 or something. So it's really about getting familiar with that setting, creating portfolio work that you can then use to get yourself into that first job, and also very much designed around we understand that not everyone wants to be a game programmer, and not everyone wants to be a game artist, and not everyone wants to be a designer. This pathway slide also shows the diversity, the amount of roles that people come out of this. And this is not a made up list, right? This is a list of roles that we've seen students take upon completion of the program. And some people will come out with, or in fact, everyone will come out with quite a diverse skill set. So some might come out saying, hey, I'm a game artist now, that's what I'm going to apply for. And someone else might say like, hey, I followed the art courses, I passed the assignments, that is essential, the assignments have to be passed, but it wasn't my core focus. And therefore, I understand art, I can work with artists, I can even do a bit of art, but I'm actually a game programmer, and that's what I really want to do. So people come out of it with different skills. People go into it with different visions also.
And with the way Unreal's going in visual effects, becoming an Unreal master in a game development program sets you up for a whole other industry in a way, because there's a lot of work, not only in the visual effects world with virtual production and knowing Unreal in it, and being able to code and program in game engines is one thing, but game cinematics, you could get a job just as a cinematic artist if you want to do more of the film style uses of game technology. So it's amazing. Let's talk about a few of the best practices. You mentioned a lot. What would you say is your advice for somebody getting into this? What could they focus on as a kind of core set of skills to develop to make sure they're successful in the future?
So when it comes to being successful, and especially starting off, this goes for any industry, but definitely for all our programs, starting off is the hardest. So that's where we come in, right? Like that's where we come in to give you that push to actually get into the career. What is it that you need? Again, it is that portfolio work. It is that showcase of hey, I have created actual content and I've worked in actual teams. So it's really about showing what you've done. It's even if you're not, myself, I'm a game programmer. I don't know if we talked about that, but like I'm not an artist at all. And in fact, I'd be a pretty terrible artist if I tried, and I have tried actually. So the point is, even I have to always show like what projects have I worked on. Yeah, I was just talking to another studio, and they don't have standard interview questions on like tell me about a challenge you went through in your previous job or anything like that. They're just like, show me what you've done, explain the stuff you've worked on. So focus on that. And when you're doing assignments in our programs, don't just think about it as an assignment that you have to pass for the teacher. Think of it as an opportunity to create that portfolio, to add to all that work that you're going to need, really need when you come out of this program.
Great. Let's just stop it there. I don't see any questions for game dev, so you're off the hook. Of course, if you do have questions about the game development program, Evo would be happy to help answer those. You can just email programs@theca.ca with a targeted question for them. We'll get it to them and we'll get you the answer you need. Okay. We've had a lot of great success. People are coming out of the program with great results and a huge set of skills after 2 years. So it's amazing to see. So thank you for your time, Ivo. Sorry I made you wait so long. I know it's late there.
No worries.
Yeah, you have a great night, okay?
Cheers. Good to see you, Matt.
Okay, thanks. I'm going to quickly run through the advanced diploma programs that we haven't discussed yet. There will be QR codes to the website for all of these, so feel free to look those up, dive deep, and then again, reach out with questions once you've had a look around, okay? So we teach you industry standard tools. We make that happen for you. And it's everything you're going to need. You get to interact with everything you'll need throughout. Tuition includes all of the following: computer and hardware on campus, software licenses, educational resources, free access to industry events and guest speakers, access to student work initiative program for qualified students, networking and mentorship from industry insiders, graduate showcase, website artist promotion, marketing support. Programs are 2 years, 6 terms, 24 courses, 20 hours a week. It's 12 hours in class and 8 in the lab. And obviously you have access to campus and the technology beyond that. Let's talk about Advanced Entertainment Arts Production Management, which is launching in January 2024. It's going to be a great program with cutting edge curriculum. It's all about pre-production, production, post-production, VFX, film, TV, and games, real world workflow breakdowns. So setup, asset management, the stages of production, scheduling, artists and resource management, all the HR stuff around that, dealing with clients, and then all the roles within that whole system. You're going to get special skills, script breakdowns, learning how to analyze a script, look for what VFX are in that script, break all that down, estimate artist time, cost, complexity, all that stuff, budgeting. Obviously, there'll be accounting and business management within that program. And then, of course, the professional side, soft skills, professionalism, learning how to work with a team, learning how to keep your cool under pressure, because production is a high pressure job, and you can find yourself in very stressful situations. So it's about giving you the tools to deal with those in the best way possible, learning how to communicate effectively. As you can see here, huge range of courses. I won't go through all of them. Term 1, 2, 3, you can see all available on the website. Term 4, 5, 6. And this is a perfect program for admin, accounting, business professionals, current or future, who are looking for a career path in a dynamic set of industries. You're going to learn a bunch of skills that'll also be very effective for industries outside of all of that as well. There's unique portfolio and admission requirements. Check out that QR code. That will take you to the website, tell you all about it. Okay. And as I said, it's entertainment arts focused, but it's effective knowledge that could be applied to a number of different industries. So if you're interested, if you're like, oh, I always knew I was going to be an accountant, maybe you want to be an accountant in this area, or you want to apply those skills to this, because it's going to be pretty cool. And you get to work on amazing projects in a dynamic industry. Okay, so check out that on the website. Hit us up with questions at that email I keep mentioning. Advanced 3D animation, 3D modeling, super exciting program. Components are basically animation of characters, creatures, anything you can animate, objects. You'll learn to do it in this program. You're going to learn core animation principles, the theories. You're also going to learn how to rigging, basic scripting, cloth simulation, body mechanics, animation for characters, inanimate objects, and creatures, as I said. Lots of collaboration in small teams. You will end up with a portfolio at the end, which will be your demo reel as you enter the industry. You're going to learn a little bit about look development, shading, compositing as well, just so you can make your animations and the things you build, if you're a modeler, make them look good so they show the best that they can. And you're going to create characters that are relatable and believable, and compose shots that are visually compelling, and learn like all the styles you see, all the different styles of animation that you could specialize in, whether that's animation for visual effects, like live action films, or if you want to get into cartoons, whatever your passion is, you will be able to learn that in this program. Here's some of the amazing projects. We've had amazing artists with different backgrounds. Somebody came in with an amazing storyboard background, and then they learned animation. A lot of it is fundamental camera work and learning cinematography, which is very important in animation because the camera itself is a character. Facial animation, rigging, lighting and look development, learning how to bring emotion out of these characters in the digital realm, very important. Animation career pathways, of course, there's a bunch, depending on where you want to take it yourself. And there you go. We talked to Priyank about the Advanced Visual Effects program. I'm not going to go too far into it, but again, you're going to learn all about visual effects, the pipeline. Pipeline is a big thing in visual effects. There's very clear stages of development in visual effects. Modeling, sculpturing, texturing, surfacing, lighting, compositing, and effects. A lot of people in the program are learning Unreal as a way to render their work, because it's a powerful tool. And it's just another thing in your arsenal to get your shots looking their best. Basic scripting, you're going to learn all the software, Unreal, Nuke, Houdini. And it's about fundamentals of pre and post-production. So you can, no matter what specialization you choose, you can understand your place in the pipeline, your responsibilities for taking work and adding to the quality from the people that came before you, and then delivering quality work to the people above you. And it all ends with the compositor. But if you're, say, modeling or sculpting, you have to create assets that are technically sound, that work well for the people that are going to handle them next, the lighters, the compositors, and so on. So yeah, it's about respecting workflows and understanding the VFX pipeline and how you fit into that. Some amazing work from our students here. You can see effects work, really nice modeling, lighting, compositing. Yeah, great stuff. Lots of things you can do after the VFX program, of course. So again, reach out to programs at ca.ca if you're interested in any of these. We can help you with the application process and review your portfolio with you, help you with the portfolio process if you have any questions. Let's check the questions now. I will get to some of these later about, again, the geopolitical stuff. We'll look at that foundations one. And later we're going to do all the admission stuff. So that's coming up right away. Okay. Let's talk about Foundations super quick. Foundations is our one-year certificate program. This is a great program for anybody that needs to gain a bit of experience artistically, creatively, technically before they jump into the advanced programs, which can be a challenge for someone who's maybe lacking in experience, both traditional or in the 3D world. So you learn artistic and technical fundamentals in preparation for the advanced diploma programs. And this one's 1 year, 3 terms, 12 courses. And this is all about blending traditional art and showing how that can work in the 3D space, if I could put it simply. You do get to experience lots of traditional art, figure drawing, color and design, sculpting, painting, to learn about value, lighting, composition, perspective, all those things. And then you'll get introduced to software that you'll be using in the advanced programs or in a future 3D world, Maya, Nuke, Substance, Mari, ZBrush, Premiere, and Photoshop. It's about observation, representation, and developing fundamental visual decision-making skills in a variety of formats. And then you'll have a portfolio at the end to help you move into the future. Here's an example of some of the work you would experience in the Foundations program. And this would be a typical student portfolio at the end. Let's talk about Calgary as a city, 1.4 million people. It's the largest city in the province of Alberta and the 4th largest in Canada by population. It's always ranked high on livability lists, close to the world famous Rocky Mountains, amazing for recreation if you're an outdoorsy type. City's very connected. The college is actually right on the train line downtown, so easy to get to, easy to get home, and overall a very modern metropolitan city. Here's some pictures. You saw the campus before. There's a little QR code. I believe it links to an article about Calgary as a city. So grab that, read that, if you haven't discovered what Calgary has to offer. Tuition. You can see domestic and international tuition numbers. These can also be found on each program page on the Bow Valley website. You can see domestic between 35 and 40,000. Foundations, the 1 year, it's about half that. International, a bit more. Foundations, they're offering international students a great discount. So you can look at that. And there are lots of scholarships available for these programs based off the strength of your portfolio. What can you expect stepping into the industry? Junior artists start around 50, and then it goes up. It's very, very much ranked by skill, and it's a competitive market, so you get to demand a wage based off of kind of where you fit within your peers. It's unique to studio, but for a general kind of a reference, juniors make 50 to 65 Canadian, intermediate 65 to 80, seniors can be 80 to 100, leads 80 to 100 plus, and directors, the sky's kind of the limit. Once you get into supervision, direction, production, higher level roles, where you're managing large teams, things really start opening up for you. Of course, these programs are PGWP eligible. For foundations, it's 1 year, and the advanced programs, it's 3. So that's fantastic for international students. Language requirements are pretty straightforward. Duolingo for programs prior to May 24 is 95, and post-May is 110. IELTS academic is 6, minimum band score is 6, and TOEFL is 83. You can go to the full language requirements page right there. Follow that QR code. It links to the official page on the Bow Valley website. I mentioned scholarships. There's lots of scholarships available based off of portfolio quality. So the process is you apply, you send in your portfolio, you get into the system, and then you get, through that process, you'll discover a scholarship amount available to you as an individual. So if you have more questions about that before pre-application, you need coaching on a portfolio to improve the quality of it, or you have questions about what types of portfolios will do best, you can reach out to programs@theca.ca and just ask. We're here to help. We're here to provide guidance and coaching, whatever you need, whatever questions you have. There's a lot of questions still in the chat about the geopolitical stuff. Email programs@theca.ca and we'll look at your individual issues, concerns, and see if we can help. There's a lot of sensitivities around it, a lot of nuance to the situation. I don't want to offend anybody, so reach out. We'll put our experts on it. We'll see what how we can help, if we can help, what the correct person to talk to within the system at BVC is, and kind of guide the process from there, okay? And our specialists, the CA has its own group of regional managers and our own admissions team that are here to work with you and help you navigate this whole thing, the application process. We work closely with BVC and the amazing team in their admissions department there, and we can kind of act as a concierge to help you out through this whole process. Yolanda, are you there? I ask that because, oh, fantastic, she is there. Look at that. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Matt. Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. So Yolanda is our Director of Admissions and Recruitment for the Center for Entertainment Arts. She's a pro at this, of industry vet. She's been doing it a long time. She's helped thousands of students along the path. Tell us a little bit about your background and why you love what you do.
Thank you, Matt. First of all, good evening, good morning to a lot of people out there. I know it's early morning or late at night for some of you. I'll make it short and sweet. I love my job because I love being with students. I love talking to them. I love spending time and just walk them through this whole process from A to Z. I was myself an international student back in the days, and I understand the maybe some challenges. I understand some concerns. I understand their parents, question and worries. So myself and my team are here to help and support and guide you through the whole process. So that way, when you start the program all the way till you end and you're out there working for Netflix, then we're here for you. So to be honest, that's why I love it. I just love it. So I like to start by mentioning a little bit of each region is assigned to its own manager. So perhaps, if you have any questions, of course, reach out to me or any of our family members here at CEA, and we're here to help. The very first step to do is basically come up with an Alberta social number, ASN. So you create that number, and the link, it's on our website, it's in the BVC website. Create that number. After you have an account, then you can go to the website and do your application process. Very simple, very sweet and quick. You put your information, You all the documents that is necessary, you upload it, including your English proficiency test like IELTS, which is for 6.0 and no more, no less than 6 in each band. TOEFL also is acceptable for 83, and also Duolingo 95. Have in mind that Duolingo is going to be changing very soon once you apply for after May session, and that would be 110. So I would encourage you to just apply and start the program in January. You can submit your portfolio as well in that portal. Either if it's a link, you can write down that there's, check my link portfolio, or if it's in PDF format, you can also upload your PDF format portfolio. You add, your CV, work experience, your high school transcript, if you have a degree or if you have a diploma, definitely, put all that in that portal and then click the submit button. It's very easy. Then from BVC, they will contact you. They will send your portfolio to one of our specialists of the program, one of our directors, and check out the portfolio. And based on that, actually, they will also offer you scholarship. So 100%, I recommend you apply for the program, submit your application, send your portfolio, and then also wait for that scholarship to be announced. Also, one more thing that's very important is the consent form. So the consent form, there's a CEA box. That consent form is actually for students to be signed, not for their agents and not for anybody else. There's a lot of mistakes where sometimes actually agents are applying on behalf of the student, and what happens is that the agent applies and signs. So then we have to go back again, all over again, and the student, have to resubmit for that consent. So make sure that you, as the applicant, signs that consent box. And once everything's submitted, once you get your submit your portfolio, you get your scholarship, then that's when perhaps you get an offer letter from BVC mentioning congratulations, you've been accepted for so-and-so program. And then the next step would be for the student to submit a deposit of $1,500. Once you submit your deposit, then the college BVC will give you an LOA, letter of acceptance. So based on that LOA, that's when you can start applying for your visa, go through that visa process, and then hopefully we'll see you in Calgary. It's very sweet, very, this whole process honestly can be done in perhaps 7 to 10 days, perhaps even maybe less. So again, as I mentioned, we are here to help. We are here to support. Each one of you is incredibly creatively brave. You are very, very creative. You are very talented. We really, really believe in each one of you. And we really want to get to know you a little bit better each time and walk through this process together. So if there's any question, I'm here to help.
Wow, that's so true. And of course, everybody, Yolanda's there to help answer questions one-on-one. We're definitely here to help you with discovery. If you're not even sure if this is right for you or if this is your path, we can discover that in conversations. Mm-hmm. You can reach out. You can find Yolanda on the website if you want to contact her directly. You can find regional managers and their languages that they're proficient at are listed. So if there's a language you feel comfortable in communicating with, you can find that person and begin a conversation with them. All of our regional managers are connected to us, to expert advice, to the admissions teams. And if they don't know the answer, they can get you the answer in short order. And again, the CA team works with the BVC team as almost a concierge service to make all of this more smooth, more easy, less stressful, more fun. And our goal is to make it so it remains exciting and doesn't become a point of pain in your life. So again, you can see the email there, programs@theca.ca, or visit the website contact page for admissions and find Yolanda. She can have that conversation with you and she can guide you on next steps if you have any questions or you're unsure of anything. For those asking about portfolios, you can contact programs@theca.ca and we can guide you through the portfolio process. If you're not sure if you have a collection of work, but it's not formatted, we can tell you the best way to make the biggest impact with your portfolio. We can also connect you to the program directors to get you that kind of in the know knowledge that you seek. So that is available to you. Yolanda, what else do you have to say? Let me look at some questions.
Sure.
For September 2024 intake, what's the last date to submit our admission forms? Well, September 2024, you have time. So the best way is to reach out to programs and talk to Yolanda and then figure out what the timelines are and what that looks like, because she could walk you through that process. Well, other than that, I mean, we've been on for a while, and Yolanda, you kind of said it all. It's very nice.
I hope so.
You know what? I think you covered it, and I think it's pretty obvious that we're there for the support side. So
100%.
especially those who aren't sure of things, and they need a bit of guidance, coaching.
Yes.
They just have general questions they need answered. That's what we're here for. And again, it's not to try to force you into anything. It's to discover if these programs are right for you, if you're ready for the advanced programs, if foundations might be better, if you're international, the reality of this whole process, coming to Canada, the costs associated, the cost of living, accommodations, visa. We can help guide that process. And it seems hard and monumental, but it's been done. And Yolanda, along with her team, are experts in the field. So, yeah. So thanks,
Perfect.
Yolanda.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much. Again, celebrate your uniqueness. You're amazing. You have these fireworks inside your head. Put it digital and just, go crazy. Thank you, guys. Nice to meet you.
Okay, thanks, Yolanda. I'll talk to you soon, okay? So there you go. That was Yolanda. Amazing. She is the lead of our admissions and recruitment team at the CEA. She would be helping you through the process with select regional managers, so that no intricacies of getting to Canada from different locations too. So what barriers you face, what you're looking at. For other questions, I see an aggregate band and not minimum band question. Reach out to programs with a specific question and we'll make sure. I might not know the exact answer myself, so I'm not going to try to answer that. Just send an email to the programs thing you see, and they'll get that sorted for you right away. And let's see, 2024 intake, you have time. It's good to start the process early, though, and figure out kind of timelines and what that would look like for you. So don't be afraid to, again, email and ask. I got an anonymous. I have a question about letter of introduction. Is it a study permit approval sent it to college? What's next? Definitely reach out to programs at the ca.ca and just explain your question, where you're coming from, your name and all that privately, and then they can help assist you. Last question. Filming and production part. I'm currently a junior who recommends me applying to university. That is everything. I think for questions, general questions about film or production, Subadarshi would be a great person we could put you in contact with to kind of help explore options. So feel free to reach out again, programs@theca.ca. clearly state your question and your inquiry, and we can get you the right answer or a conversation with somebody that can help you kind of figure out what you're looking for, what's next, and all that stuff. Okay. I think I did it. All questions answered. I want to thank everybody that joined us today. It was a solid session. I will put this recording up on our CEA YouTube page in a couple days for those that would like to review it. And thank you all again for your time. Went a lot longer than I thought, but there's a lot of great guests there. So everybody take care. Again, programs at the CA.ca. Of course, you can go to the Bow Valley website and apply directly through them if that's what you prefer. An amazing admissions team. Oh, Priyank's back. Hi, Priyank.
I've been here a while. I just want to say thank you to you for taking the time to guide our students through this.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, the students are the backbone of everything. They're amazing. The work that we've seen alumni, the levels at which they're moving through the industry is astounding. There's definitely a path for anybody. And again, you said it when we were talking, but these programs are serious, and it's almost a disservice to yourself to not take them seriously if it's what you're thinking. If you want to come in and get the ultimate reward of being in these programs, you have to stay in the zone. You have to work hard every day, every week. You have to listen to your mentors. You have to show enthusiasm, professionalism, and you're going to naturally find so many mentors and people to help guide you into the industry. It'll make your head spin because you guys are everywhere. So thank you to everybody. Again, reach out and I can connect you with any program director. We can get you admissions help through Yolanda. I'm here. I will help in any way I can. So thank you to everybody. Stay tuned to our social media. We're going to have more info sessions about specific programs at Bow Valley College. I see a question about computer. Yeah, computers are supplied, really nice ones. You can always be on campus and take your classes there. And if not, you would need, if you wanted to do remote, you would just need a basic computer that could run a remote piece of software like Teradici or something. I'm not sure the exact process at BVC. Priyank, is it Teradici?
I believe so, but
Yeah.
Jeff would have a better answer to that.
Oh, there's Jeff.
It's VM Horizonware. So
Okay. Yeah, so any computer will run it because you're not actually doing any kind of hard work on that computer. You're just logging into a remote network and doing it that way. Okay, great. Seems like all the questions done. Thank you for everybody for joining. Thank you everybody that's here, turning your cameras on. It makes me feel like I'm not alone in this world. That's important.
Thank you.
Yeah, Subadarshi, thanks. Jeff, Subadarshi, Priyank, Yolanda, Phil, who's not listening anymore, but thank you. And Ivo, it's late where he is. Thank you, Ivo, for joining. And look for future events. I want to do one on film. We're going to do one on the production management program. Priyank, I know he's excited to do one on visual effects and go deeper on that. And we'll, of course, be visiting Jeff more. Actually, he'll be on every one if we're talking BVC. Like, Jeff has to make an appearance. So thank you to all. Okay, I'm going to stop this because I'm just rambling.
Good night. Have a good day.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.